Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be looking at a scenario where the African Union and AdizzPro's WICSO comes to the modern day. Now, the African Union was a very strong country in, of course, North Africa that had a lot of land in this whole Saharan region. And in this scenario, we're going to see that it comes up in the modern. So it includes all their land in main Africa, Sicily, Corsica, Sardinia, and the Balearic Islands, their lands in Iberia, and of course, the Dark Scientine puppets. If you guys enjoy these videos and enjoy Daily Upload Week, please like and subscribe, as Daily Upload Week was also just trying to explore with some new content. Not necessarily new content. I think I did like the Portuguese Empire video before. Um, but this is just something that I feel like I want to do because I already have this map. I created this map of my own, by the way, because well, yeah. And this is a very large country. Honestly, I don't know what they would do. But the first thing they're gonna do is start their invasion of Algeria. And well, these are the only two parts of Algeria remaining, and they can get completely wiped out as there's just no chance. And in the peace treaty, obviously, full annexation. There's nothing else they could do. And I didn't realize they actually spanned into Niger. That's very interesting. But now they're just gonna go on a conquest of some more African nations, including Guinea-Bissau, Mauritania, and the rest of Senegal. These nations have been pretty weakened by the whole, African Union taking most of their country and most of the valuable parts of their country, and now they're just weak, so they're gonna get fully invaded, and of course, in the peace treaty, fully annexed. But from here, they probably will have to fight some pretty strong nations. No, I mean, of course, Guinea, Mali, Niger, Libya, and they're not the most strongest nations, but they are pretty large nations. And of course, the stronger nations are over here in Spain, Portugal, France, Italy. Although Spain has been weakened a lot due to this. They have lost the Strait of Gibraltar and a lot of Valencia. They also lost their strategic port over here in the Balearic Islands, which doesn't fully weaken them. However, it really does make them a lot more weaker, as the African Union's puppet state is also very close to the capital of Spain in Madrid. I don't know why I said it like Madrid. I'm pretty sure it's Madrid. So the African Union will wait for Spain, but they're going to go on some imperial conquests. Well, not really imperial, it's just in Africa, as this dark hair invasion of Guinea, no, wrong color. I can't really do like regular blue because African Union is already regular blue, so I have to use a lighter or darker shade. But the African Union starts its grand invasion of Guinea. They move in from the southern regions right here, although with their newly annexed territory in Senegal, they make another invasion of this land right here, which is aimed to fully connect these two in, well, half, and they do, taking all of this land right here. Eventually, they just fully get all of this coast, and well, yeah, there goes pretty much this whole country, as it's all the coastline. And without the coastline, Guinea is basically just a bunch of jungle. But over here, a surprising union will form up between a bunch of African countries. This union is just the Western African country, or the Western African Union, which includes a lot of these Western African countries to combat the influence of, well, of course, this guy up here. And this African Union is gonna go ahead and take the rest. And let's look at a peace treaty between these two sides. So this is what it looks like in the peace treaty. The African Union gets all of that, while the Western African Union gets all of that. That is wrong. They get all of this. And well, yeah, so this new union is not very strong, but it's stronger than Mali, Niger. I don't know about Nigeria, but pretty much all the countries around it. And then the African Union declares war on Mali, and that is also when these guys go ahead and join. Now, with one great power and one regional power against a very weak country, it's not gonna last. Of course, all of Mali is pretty much down here in the south. They did lose a little bit of Azawad, or is it called Azawad? I think it is. I'm not entirely sure. But they do advance over here. Nope, wrong thing. They advance over here in these southern regions. The African Union joins the war and starts their invasion of the southern regions as well, as that is just the most beneficial area. And they take a lot of this land, just going all across this border right here. They eventually take the capital of Mali, while the green team now focuses on the northern land and takes a large portion of it. they also even manages to connect up with this land, which is going to make this peace treaty look very weird, as the African Union takes up this, and then the rest of this is taken by the Green Team. So let's take a look at this peace treaty of Mali. When I was still in school, there was a kid named Molly, and she didn't talk to anybody. She was kind of emo. I don't know why I'm talking about school here, but who cares? And this is what the peace treaty looks like. So the Green Team gets basically all of this southern land. However, the African Union does get a good portion of it, as well as pretty much all of the northern land of Mali. And while the African Union have expanded a lot in the Saharan region, who knows why they have done this? I mean, there's really no reason to expand over here. But now, this is where they kind of get stuck. This is also where a coalition formed against the African Union due to the rapid expansion, and well, the rapid expansion is about to ensue. So a bunch of nations just want to go ahead and form a coalition against them, so something bad like that doesn't happen. These nations include, of course, the Western African Union right here. Hold on, there we go. Libya also joins this pact. Italy joins, France does, as well as Portugal. Spain refrains from now, but Andorra, even Andorra, small nation right here, they join, and that is when Spain is like, maybe we should have probably joined, but it's too late as they get invaded. Now, are they gonna get invaded only by the African Union? No, because the Purple Team also wants some land. This is the anti-African Union expansion pact, and I know Italy and Libya probably wouldn't work together, but you know, it's just gonna have to be for this episode. So, of course, what is that? Like I was saying, no, what is that either? What is happening with Paint on It? So, of course, the purple team will start their invasion, and Spain doesn't really know what to do because they're getting invaded by, well, multitude of different sides right now. And when that happens, you're probably just doomed. You're probably just not going to win at all. So Spain's going to go ahead and get divided. So, and there it is. Let's take a look at this peace treaty, which is probably going to be pretty interesting due to the fact that there's multiple countries in this war. And this is the peace treaty. So Portugal gets a good amount of land on their border, and same with France. They get Catalonia and some of this area with right here, which I'm pretty sure is the Basque region, and of course they already had some of Valencia, and also the Dark Sign team. Well, I guess just now the African Union puppet state has been expanded upon, and also the African Union took like a small portion right there because I guess they just wanted land. I don't. But I don't know why I was on this map. The African Union is stuck now. I mean, they could invade Niger, but like only from like right here is the only valuable part. I guess Niger also has uranium, but that's not even the main point. The main point is that they have nothing else to do, and also they have no friends. I would say like they're like the third, fourth, or fifth strongest country in the world, and nobody really likes them. Nobody in Africa does. Not really anybody in Europe does. Russia has a slight like toward them, but nobody else really does. And well, on a surprising day, we can see that the anti-African expansion pact is gonna go ahead and add a lot more members, such as Egypt, Greece, Bulgaria, Germany, Great Britain, and Poland. And on the same day, the anti-African Union expansion pact declares war on the African Union. And they were not ready for this. Like, at all. They were not ready for this at all. And, well, this is most definitely the African Union's puppet state starts to get invaded on all sides. And it really just stands no chance against the nations invading it. And it just gets completely destroyed and dismantled. And also the rest of the parts in Africa, the African Union, or no, the rest of the parts in Iberia that was owned by the African Union also fall. But that's due to the African Union want to establishing a naval front line, and maybe even could attack their well captured territories and re-liberate them. But maybe not liberate, maybe just capture again, because these people really never wanted to be a part of the African Union. I mean, they're not even in Africa. Although these islands over here in the Mediterranean are going to go ahead and stay due to the fact that they're a lot more ministered and navally held by the African Union. Uh, yeah, very interesting things happening here. Libya also starts their invasion, and that's the wrong color. Libya also starts their invasion with a bang as they start to re-liberate a lot of lands that were taken from them, and start nearing towards Tripoli, which I'm pretty sure they are just captured. So they just captured their capital again, and pretty much all of their former land that they had, and a little bit more. So good for. In the West African Union, still wrong color. West African Union manages to take a lot more land in Guinea and just takes this whole area as well as parts of Mali. But that is when the African Union starts to realize that they're in a little bit of a pickle situation here. They have no friends, and on top of that, the USA just joined against them because they like to get involved in foreign conflicts. Just explained by this. I'm not saying that, they should be isolationists because I don't really want to get into politics anyway. I was gonna make a video about that whole situation, but then AdizzPro made a video, so I didn't feel the need to do that. A landing in Sicily is made from the Italians, and they just take a little bit of the island, but African forces stop them in the track. Same thing happens here, where a bunch of European troops try to make a landing here. However, it is just not possible at this very moment. In here are the naval fronts, so I don't know what is going on right there. Okay, I don't think I can fix it. But as you can see, the African Union is dominant in the waters around it, but it is losing a lot and a lot of naval front lines as America and its allies are making a grand push across, well, the whole, the whole Atlantic Ocean. But this is when the African Union starts to collapse. They tried and they try to push back, and they even push into parts of Libya, and they try to push back in Iberia as well as in the lower African areas. But the reality of it is that they're not gonna win this war. As the Americans start to get closer, what layer am I on? Oh my God. As the Americans start to get closer and closer to Africa, it just doesn't seem possible. And when they finally meet that North African army, they completely dismantle, destroy that army or navy, and completely destroy them out of the Mediterranean. The American Navy stands dominant against the Navy of the African Union and fully dismantles it within like a year or two. And within that time, everybody has pretty much pushed back. It is not very quick. The landing in Africa starts. These islands in the Mediterranean are fully taken. Libya pushes back and then pushes into Tunisia with the help of Italy and Greece and Bulgaria. And then we see the West Africans pushing in. And that is when we see something bad for them happen. West Africa as a whole unites or what? They revolt against the African Union and take pretty much just everything away from them. And eventually the African Union falls and well, I don't think there really is a need for a peace treaty. Here's the peace treaty. Yeah, it's just that the African Union is dismantled, and the countries that were there formerly are now back. But anyways, that is gonna go ahead and do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Also, like and subscribe.